Hey guys, this is Sean. Thanks for checking out my latest review here for Sega Rally Championship. This game was released in February 1995. It was released on the Sega Saturn, PC, PlayStation 2 and also the Nokia N-Gage later on in its life, and it was also a very popular arcade game back in the day. Although this game wasn't a launch title, it was very popular in the early days of the Sega Saturn. Before games like Gran Turismo, Colin McRae and TOCA touring cars were even around, Sega Rally was one of the most popular racing games around. Released in 1995, it was up against another arcade heavyweight that was making its long-awaited debut on a console. This would of course be Daytona USA. When I first played this game back in 95, I was hooked straight away. I'll let the intro show you why. With the ability to drive on different terrain and 3 challenging circuits, with brilliant gameplay and soundtrack, it was the game that most racing fans have been waiting for, and was one of the most advanced racing games on a Sega console since Virtual Racing for the Sega Mega Drive. Due to these points, this game is thought to be one of the milestones in racing game evolution.
Sega Rally Championship.
Right, so this is the main menu for the game, where you set up all the different game modes. I'll take you into car settings here so I can show you how you can set up a car for different terrains. Now I'm not actually going to fiddle around with this too much because I don't actually have a battery backup in my Sega Saturn currently. And this is also a pretty good cover story, as I really have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to setting up racing cars for games like this. So getting into the actual game then, you can only actually choose from 2 different cars, which are a Toyota Celica or a Lancia Delta. You can also actually unlock a 3rd car in this game, which is a Lancia Stratos, which I have to admit I've never actually seen, as I've never completed this game. So this is the first track of 3 in the championship mode. When you complete this mode, you, along with getting the additional car up, you also get an additional circuit which you can use in all areas of the game. This track's called Lakeside, but again, as I've never completed this game, I've never actually seen what this track looks like. Now, while I was talking just a minute ago about the unlockables in this game, you may have noticed I was flicking between views for this game. You could actually choose between 2 views. There was one in the cockpit and also one behind the car, which I'm currently using here. You could very easily change between these views by pressing the X button. Basically, the object in championship mode is to try and gain as many spaces as you can. You start off in position 15, as you can see I'm now in position 11. Basically, you've just got to try and keep working your way up through the races, trying to get to the first place to qualify for the 4th stage, try and lock it, and also the additional car. To unlock the additional car, you actually need to win the Lakeside stage. So we move on to the 2nd stage now. You'll notice in a minute that as I start off the race, my time will be increased for this stage. Also, it basically acts like a checkpoint. Every time you start up a new race, you'll be given additional time. And I'm also starting off in 11th, which was the position I finished in the last race. This track's quite testing because it's double terrain really. You get bits of the asphalt road here, and it also turns into the mud stages, so you can drift a lot easier around the corners. Now, I also spoke earlier about the music on this game. I mean, Sega really did a great job on this game. It really added to the gameplay, and they really chose some brilliant tracks I feel for this game. From watching reviews on Sega Rally from many YouTubers, especially MN12 reviewed this game, I totally agree with him. The music on this is absolutely brilliant. Also, I totally agree with him on the time on this game. The checkpoints are so spread out, it's not even funny. I mean, when you first start playing this game, it's challenging enough without trying to reach all the checkpoints. It's one of the things that I do have a problem with this game. I've played this game an awful lot from my childhood, and I've still never been able to complete it. And it's usually just one corner would always irritate you. You'll always muck up on a part that you've never mucked up on before, and it can get quite irritating. So I suppose for longevity this game's brilliant because it makes you keep wanting to go back and playing it, but you could definitely have done with more time on these stages. It's sometimes it's not even funny.
Finish!
Now, surprise, surprise, I never actually make it past this stage in the video. Like I said, I've never ever completed this game, but this stage was always my favourite. And again, just draw your attention to the music. It's just absolutely brilliant.
2, 1, go! Easy left.
Now, from watching this video so far, I hope you understand about the statement that we made earlier, that this was really a benchmark in the evolution of racing games. At the time, one of the big games out, racing game-wise, was Ridge Racer. Now, this game was pretty blocky from playing it compared to this, and what I mean by that was it just didn't feel as realistic as this game did. Sega Rally. This game was just so well designed and it had so much going for it. I actually read somewhere that Codemasters, who would later down the line be responsible for making games such as Colin McRae, were massively influenced by this game. So it really shows that Sega were doing something right with Sega Rally. And surprise, surprise, now as if it wasn't bad enough that you've expired time and it says retired, even though you can see a checkpoint, this game won't stop there. It'll rub your face in it even further. Listen to this. Now that seems to be a trait that most racing games had at the time, as Daytona's well known for its musical number at the end once you fail dismally to complete stages. Now I decided to show you some footage from when I tried it again, literally straight after with the Lancia Delta. I decided to leave out the first stage, as it went pretty much the same as when I used the other car on that stage. As you can see, I've started from 11th again.
Very long, easy right.
Now the two cars on this game will actually handle pretty much identical unless you set them up otherwise in the car settings screen. So that's just a warning for you unless you're expecting the two cars to handle pretty much differently on this game. Unless you go to town on setting them up, they're going to handle pretty much the same. Now I've mentioned Daytona a few times during this review, as it came out for the Saturn in the same year. Now just so we can draw a comparison really between Daytona USA and Sega Rally, Daytona have been in the arcade since 1993 and has had many adjustments and tweaks along the way to gameplay. Considering this was Sega's first real crack at a racing game for the Sega Saturn, I think it stood up pretty well for the time and won many fans along the way. Now I played both of these games quite a lot as a kid, and I don't want you to think that I hate Daytona USA, because it's a game I do own and do plan to do a review of. But I do feel that I enjoy Sega Rally more than Daytona. I do feel it's graphically a bit better, and that the tracks are more challenging. And as I said earlier, the music on this game is just awesome. I think it's really a testament to these games in the day, how good they really were, as we have a bowling alley quite close to me, and both of these games, Daytona and Sega Rally, are still there. And obviously they wouldn't keep these cabs there if they weren't making money, so somebody must still be playing these in the arcades. Sorry to cut the video quite drastically there, I just thought that we shouldn't beat around the bush and just get to the point. We all know I'm going to fail again. And plus I know you all want to listen to that game over music again, so I won't disappoint. So anyway, this pretty much sums up my review for Sega Rally. In my view, it's a brilliant game that still stands up today. It's pretty challenging, i.e. I've owned this game for years and still never completed it, and can get extremely infuriating, and it's well worth a look. This game can be picked up extremely cheap on places like eBay, and is a must if you have a Sega Saturn. Until next time, thanks for watching.